I'm Isabel Stainsby, and I'm reading from The Xenophile, a short story from the collection Unholy Compromises, Tales from the Central Imperium, by Kotouč. Name? Darren Horn. Reason for your visit to Barondo? Xenophilia. The immigration official looked up from the travel documents and raised his eyebrows. With interest. The tedious, long-drawn-out routine of his job had just been broken. Sorry, what? Stammered the official. The planet Barondo had the reputation of being the planet of forbidden pleasures, so he was used to tourists arriving for all sorts of things, but this had evidently derailed him. Xenophilia, Darren repeated, the Greek term for love for or attraction to the unknown. Since humanity made contact with alien races, it's also been used for someone who is sexually attracted to aliens. The official looked more interested than shocked. Well, I'm glad that you're proud of what you are. Of course, that's fundamental. We must first and foremost be honest with ourselves. A long line of people stood behind Darren, but the mesmerised official continued asking questions. We don't have too many aliens on Barondo, he began cautiously, but then quickly added, although, of course, Barondo is the world where everyone's innermost wishes come true, citing almost verbatim a sentence from the tourist brochure. You have some Ralgars here, and that's exactly what I'm looking for, said Darren enthusiastically. Specifically, Ralgars who are going through their sex change cycle right now. How exactly deep that is, those are interesting desires. I've already been to the Gleasons and spent several wonderful nights with one when he was hibernating. But he had consented before he went to sleep, so it was fine, morally and ethically. And with two Silmani, I played their third sex, the one that died out over 150 years ago, and that has been cloned since then. I know how it works with the Silmani, said the official. And last year I went to a Lasian nest. Lasians are giant ants. I couldn't do anything with them, but they allow me to masturbate in their spawning puddles in the queen's nest. Excuse me, exclaimed the elegantly dressed middle-aged woman behind Darren. There are children here. Darren looked around. He couldn't see any children, but the woman's outraged expression indicated that there were children somewhere in the spaceport, and that he should therefore stop talking. A lot of things were legal on Barondo. The immigration officer decided it was better not to ask any more questions, and let Darren through with a "Welcome to Barondo." As Darren headed along the corridor to baggage reclaim, he heard the woman behind him answering the same questions about the purpose of her visit. You want to bang my Ralgars? Darren Horn smiled sweetly at the elegant woman in a suit as she invited him into her office. Her name was Angela Riverani, and she was one of the corporate VPs of Harlequin Entertainment, and the Crixus Arena was her direct responsibility. Darren was experienced in these matters and knew that it was a good idea to begin at the beginning. Moreover, as he had saved for this trip, he had money enough for any necessary bribes. You could also put it like that. Of course, formally speaking, I want to have sexual intercourse with a Ralgar as soon as he undergoes the change to female. Riverani rubbed the bridge of her nose with the expression of someone who really hadn't expected to be dealing with this today. But sir, Ralgars are giant aggressive lizards. They regenerate, so they sometimes tear chunks out of each other for fun. Gromo and Parta have lost limbs several times in the arena, but they always grow back. She shook her head. I know what Ralgars are like, Madame Riverani. I have read all the available papers about them. Yet you still want to screw one? I'm sure I remember reading a brochure about Barondo that promised that my most secret desires will be fulfilled here. Riverani raised her hand. He knew this argument would be effective. Sir, it is not for me to judge any desires or sexual preferences, but they are gigantic lizards who sometimes kill each other for fun. Their last trainer is still getting used to his new legs. Darren waved his hand. Even humans can regrow limbs thanks to modern medicine and regeneration therapy. I'm not afraid of that. We don't know much about Ralgar sexuality, even from expert literature. But based on their anatomy, we can of course make an educated guess about where their sex organs are located. And they transform completely. It's not just a question of hormones, even though they do play the most important role, of course. Fine. You have studied Ralgars, Mr. Horn, and I really do not need to know anything more. Thank you. What are they like in person? Riverani shook her head. I've never met them. The Crixus Arena is, of course, an amazing entertainment venue, and it's definitely great that it welcomes millions of visitors every year. But my personal tastes are different. However, you chose to come see me. I like to begin at the beginning. And I think that, given the donation I have made to Harlequin Entertainment, I deserve a hearing. Of course, the company is grateful for your donation, the woman assured him. Whether the donation would appear on the company's balance sheet or go directly to her personal account was now up to her. Mr. Horn, your plan. I fear it will be difficult to put it into practice. Do you even know that the Ralgars will be interested? What do you have that could attract them? My stamina. Both the clone Silmani and the Lasian Queen appreciated it. Riverani's gaze wandered to the cupboard on one wall of her office. Something told Darren that she kept alcohol in it, and really needed a glass right now. Mr. Horn, I'm sure you understand that I cannot force my Ralgars to whatever you want to do with them. They're my employees, not my slaves. Slavery is illegal. However, if you would like to try any of our erotic experience houses, they are of course at your disposal. She stopped, noticing Darren's evident lack of interest. I understand that you can't force them, he said calmly. I would never want that. I only want the opportunity to meet them, maybe invite them to dinner. I will persevere, but of course their consent is necessary. Riverani was silent for a while. Fine, but I will want you to sign to say that Harlequin Entertainment is not liable for any physical or psychological damage or anything else that happens to you. That goes without saying. Good. I will contact my people at the Crixus, other gladiators. Humans, that is. Sometimes meet their fans. I will tell my Ralgars to go to dinner with you, that this is part of public relations. But then it will be up to you and your charm. Darren smiled. Thank you, Madame Riverani. Thank you. That's all I ask of you. But I have one more condition, said the Vice President. Yes? There's a fight this evening. As their sex change is approaching, we are trying to make the most of them while we still can. Go watch their fight. I'll give you a complimentary ticket. Maybe you will think again.